Good morning, I'm J. Lenora Bressler, and welcome to the November 24th, 2017 edition of The Bible Delight in the Details. We are looking at often overlooked details from Leviticus in a multi-session series. We've been, for the past week or so, looking at Leviticus chapter 8, which is a fascinating, when you look at it from the detail standpoint, it is a fascinating recording of the time when Moses, the word just escaped me, the ordination of Aaron, the high priest. And we've been looking at certain details about that. Today, I want to focus in on chapter 8, verse 9. And this is what it says. And he, meaning Moses, put the mitre upon his head, that was Aaron, also the mitre, even upon his forefront, did he put the golden plate, the holy crown, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Part of the accoutrements of worship for the high priest and for the other priest, for the lesser priests as well, was a golden circular, we would call it a crown, but it was a plate, and it literally went across the forehead. And we know from Exodus chapter 39:30 that engraved on that gold plate were the words, "Holy unto the Lord." It signified that the priests' lives were dedicated to the Lord, that their reason for being and their whole lifetime was to be in service to the Lord. It was a reminder to the people, but more importantly, it was a reminder to themselves that this was their calling and this was ultimately how they should view their life, successful or not, was dependent upon their faithfulness to the Lord. Holy means sacred, means set apart, means that is the use and the utilization for that good, that thing, or that person. Now, this becomes very important because of a detail that many of you have probably heard from the New Testament. In fact, from the very last book of the New Testament, Revelation. In Revelation, we are told in the last days that there will be the Antichrist, also known as the beast, will come out of the sea, meaning the nations of the world and that political system, and will do terrible things. One of the things that you've probably heard about is something called the mark of the beast. And this is discussed in Revelation chapter 13. In chapter 13, verse 16, we're told that in those days, the beast is going to cause a mark to be placed upon people, either on their forehead or on their right hand. And without this mark, they will not be able to buy or sell. So obviously the pressure is going to be very great on people to capitulate. And anyone who does not is going to be persecuted. Now, why is this such a terrible thing? Why is it that Christians can never take that mark, no matter what that means to them? Because we are told in the New Testament that we are a priesthood of believers, that we have, because of what Christ has done, we are now a nation of priests, just like the ancient Israelites were supposed to be as well. Ambassadors to the world, a proclamation, a living, breathing testimony and proclamation of the good news of God to the people of the world. And so, in a real sense, those of us who know the Lord right now have on ourselves, you may not see it, but we have that plate on our forehead, holy unto the Lord. That is what we are called to be. We are called to be completely dedicated in our lives to Him and faithful to Him. And we are to give all of our strength. In the Bible, we know that the right hand, someone's right hand, is commonly referred to as a way of saying giving their all, giving their complete strength. We're told that God is like our right hand. Jesus Christ is seated on the right hand of God the Father in the courts of heaven today. The strength of a person is in their right hand. So if anyone were to give credence to or give allegiance to something other than God as the ultimate authority, and place goodness even symbolically, much less if this is literal, which I happen to believe that Revelation is, but whether it's symbolic or literal, to place the name of anyone or anything on your forehead, in what you are and how you think, or on your hand, which is what you give your strength and power and time to, would be complete rebellion and rejection of the Lord. And so it's absolutely fascinating to me that even in the accoutrements of the priests of Israel, we see a foreshadowing of what one day in the future, some of us who are even living today, who knows, may be asked to do. And we have to understand the significance. We who are believers already have something written on our forehead, and it is holy to the Lord. And therefore, there can be nothing else ever on our forehead or on our hand, figuratively or literally, that gives allegiance to anyone but God Almighty. I'm J. Lenora Bressler. Visit me on the next edition of The Bible, Delight in the Details. Have a great weekend.